Legend Total War here, and today we've got a Saving Your Disaster battle, which if we lost would turn into a disaster campaign. But anyway, playing as the Empire, we are defending Altdorf against Khazrak the One-Eye with a fairly strong infantry-based army. So, there's a few things I want to discuss because of the Clan Pestilence video that I did a few days ago. You know, obviously I did some things in that. I saved the campaign, but I also was a bit of a dick, admittedly, during that. You know, I did start a ritual before the guy was ready. I cranked up the difficulty, and, you know, I did say that he had to purchase all the DLC. Now, I've done a little bit of research into that, and from my understanding is that he doesn't actually have to purchase all the DLC. Hang on, let me just do one thing. I believe this campaign difficulty is on, yeah, very hard, but hard battles. I'm actually going to crank it up to very hard because I don't think this battle is hard enough. Like, that balance of power, whilst it might look bad, I'm honestly just scoffing at it at the moment. You know, is that all you got? I am not concerned in the slightest in this battle, and I'll explain why. And let's just get into the battle and I'll explain as we go. So anyway, like I was saying about the DLC, you shouldn't have to purchase any of the DLC, but what a lot of the emails coming back to me about the recent saving disaster battles and stuff is that people are saying that they can't play their save files until Gotrek and Felix has been released, which is annoying because most of those campaigns are like not Empire or Dwarf or Return. Well, not most of them, some of them are, but there's Vampire Counts ones that can't be loaded until they get Gotrek and Felix. Now, if it was any other regular DLC, I'd be like, well, just, you know, you should probably get the DLC anyway. It's only like a few bucks. But Gotrek and Felix is actually kind of a pain in the ass to get because you actually have to go around it. You have to, you know, purchase the White Dwarf magazine and then go through Total War Access. And I can understand that it's a pain in the ass. So what I've done is I've actually uninstalled that DLC for me now, so that this save file here will not have to get Gotrek and Felix, because I can now check if I turn it off before I load the save file and they do have Gotrek and Felix, well then I just have to get out of the game and turn it back on. But if I have it off and I can load the save file, that means they don't have it. And that means that this guy here doesn't have Gotrek and Felix. So that means when I send the save file back now, he doesn't have to get it. You know, everyone's going to eventually get Gotrek and Felix for free, but not until October 17, and that's kind of a long time to sit there and wait to play your campaign again, because it's not like it's a $2 DLC or anything. You got to purchase that White Dwarf magazine. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. I understand that. So I'm going to try and endeavor to not send back save files that are that require DLC in future, because I did get a bit of flack for that, which admittedly it was a dick move, but I'm going to try not to do that in future. I listened to your feedback, basically. You know, it wasn't a lot of negative feedback, but, you know, that being said, there's no reason to piss people off for nothing. You know, as for the whole doing the ritual on him, yeah, I don't really regret doing that, because that was funny, I thought. But as for making people buy the DLC, that's probably not cool. Now, in terms of this particular campaign here, this battle, I do not want to get any more of these kind of save files again, okay? Because I don't need to do them. You should be able to do this because they're not difficult, okay? I am not worried at all about this battle. Basically, I want to use this battle here as a baseline for people, as a guide on how to defend sieges against these kind of forces. Now, that's not to say that I don't want you to send me save files of defending settlements. That's fine. I don't want you to send me save files of defending settlements that you really should be able to do on your own, if you know what I mean. This shouldn't be difficult at all. Like, I'm 100% confident that I'm going to win this battle. Like, that's why I upped the difficulty, because this is not going to be difficult. And the reason for that is because we have a massive tactical advantage. They only have infantry. Now, I believe if the guy here whose campaign this is fought this battle and lost, it's probably because he defended the walls. Now, I can totally understand why people fall into this trap of defending the walls, you know? Creative Assembly sets these things up, sets up these powerful towers. There's a certain degree of appeal to hold on to the towers. But if you just think about things a little bit more tactically, you realize that there's actually no advantage to holding onto the walls beyond the towers, and that the choke points are far more valuable, especially considering an all-infantry army here, and the fact that you've got mortars. This is a no-brain win. You don't need even great swords here. We could have swordsmen, it'll be fine, because the artillery is going to do all the work. So because our artillery is so powerful, we want to maximize their potential, and that's what we're going to do. So I'll use this as a baseline for people. In future, if they send me save files like this, I'll be like, just refer to this video here. This will give you all the information you need. You know, against all infantry armies, don't hold the walls. Against all large units, hold the walls, because they can't get up on the walls, and you can shoot down on them, and then you clog the gates, unless they, you know, break down sections of wall. Like with the mammoth video, we held onto the wall and we clogged the gates, and it worked. So depending on what you're going up against, if it's unbalanced, like it is in this case, it's all infantry, you'll know what to do. Okay. With that out of the way, that was a long intro, but let's get on with this. So, like I said, let's see, Demigriff Knights, probably want to keep them in the rear for later. They're anti-infantry units, so that's going to be useful. The steam tank is essentially artillery. We want to be clogging. Now, Altdorf is probably, I'd rate that about a, probably a 6 out of 10 for defensibility under normal circumstances. It's not the most defensible, because what I usually rate the defensibility of a city is how many entry points there are into the town square. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways in. That means there's a possibility of 5 choke points. Now the best cities will have 3 choke points into the town square, and one of those points might be just an area in which the AI just doesn't even think to go in. And so those are the 10 out of 10 defensible cities. Whatever kind of towers are on the settlement wall, it's pretty much irrelevant. All right, keep the Reichsguard back as well. Keep them until later. Now, what we'll do is we'll set up the gunners up on the wall to begin with. I'll have them firing just at the start. And as soon as they get close to the walls, we back off. See, the balance of power here isn't even that bad. So this is obviously a case of somebody just completely panicked as soon as they saw this. And honestly, guys, I don't really want you to do that. If you haven't fought the battle first, don't send it to me. I don't care if it's on legendary difficulty or easy difficulty, but if you haven't fought and lost the battle first, don't send it to me. Give it a shot yourself, and if you lose, then you can send it to me. Because you never know, you know, if you haven't fought this battle and you just panicked, you might have won. That being said, I don't know if he has. Give it a shot yourself first, you know? Or else you're just not going to learn. And I just don't feel like I'll be doing anyone a favor if that's the case. I'll get these off the wall. So yeah, we abandoned the walls pretty early on. Sure, I know that these towers do a lot of damage. Indeed they do, but not as much as choke points. Anyway, once they start getting up on the walls, and at this point, here, the towers pretty much stop shooting. So there's just no point. And the thing is, our great swords don't stand a chance against Worstigors, so don't put your, you know, high value units up against units that are going to crush you. Alright. Then the next thing you want to do is actually like put these hero units up front, and infantry units, enemy infantry units, will crowd around them, creating just a perfect kill zone. Obviously, the Bright Wizard's probably not the best one for using it, because he's going to die really quickly. But these guys here will hold on for a while. We'll try to utilize the Cascading Fire Cloak, because that'll give them extra melee defense, buying us more time to shoot them. So not yet, not yet. Alright, let's get to it. And the mortars fire at the ground over there. And the great thing about doing it this way as well is that when you've got all of your troops in a small area, you can keep an eye on them a lot easier. Because one of the biggest problems with battles, with people losing them, is actually human error. So you need to try to reduce the possibility of you making mistakes. So he's going down... Oh, I forgot to do this. Doesn't make a huge difference. Wouldn't worry too much about Kazrak. But actually, we should probably shoot him. Then when they start to get in, that's when you send your troops in. Just stop them from getting to the gunners, but you want to make sure your gunners have a clear line of sight. See, when this happens, they're blocked. It's not ideal. Right, let's try and focus on Kazrak himself. Because he's going to be a real nuisance to kill. That's probably... I don't know if that's going to work. Come on, shoot him. So I'm trying to lure him into range so that we can bloody shoot him. This is often why I don't bother with hero sniping, because it can be a real pain in the ass. But we're doing a lot of damage to the Worstigors with the mortars at the moment, so just let them do their thing. And since Kazrak does do a lot of damage to infantry, let's try to get rid of him. There's no point having the great swords fighting; they're just not going to win. Doesn't matter if he dies. Alright, Kazrak's gone. That's good. Get back in formation and shoot in over here. Alright, how's everything else going? All looks good. Alright, let's send a single unit of Reichsguard around the back here to charge into the rear. There's no point sending everything, because that'll just get all cluttered. Okay, we're gonna need some reinforcements over here shortly. Try to get them to hold on as long as possible. Right. Now start bombing there. So I want them to go around wide so they can get a good solid charge in. Otherwise, pretty much no point in even sending them over there. I don't even need to be sending the cavalry in. I mean, we've won at this point. I'm trying to shoot our own men too much. Yeah, but definitely ideally, I'd like to get save files sent in that are actually like really tough battles For one thing, makes the thumbnails look a lot better, as opposed to a balance of power that's right in the middle. Because it's all about the thumbnails these days. Which sucks. I wish it wasn't the case, but it does seem to be. Okay, now we can send them in to start running down stragglers, but they're not the fastest units. I don't know, you guys let me know if you enjoy these kind of ones as well. But like I said, I wasn't concerned in the slightest about this battle here. I saw what they had and I just knew that there was no hope in hell of them winning. Yeah, so don't hold the walls. Because, like, if you have a look at the amount of damage we took, like, 3 units got damaged. The Empire Captain got killed. You know, who cares? But their army's more or less destroyed. And here's the thing, I don't even think I did that great of a job on that battle. So yeah, there's just no value in holding the walls. Because, like, if we'd had, they would have just absolutely shredded us. The artillery wouldn't have had as easy time firing, and the gunners wouldn't have been able to fire very well either. So don't bother holding the walls. It's just, it gives the enemy the advantage as soon as they get up there, especially if they've got siege towers, which they pretty much always do. So fall back to the town square, and it's then to your advantage. But anyway, that's the end of this one. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of value out of this battle. And I do appreciate everyone sending me as many save files as you have. Do give me some feedback down below as to what you prefer, if you want me to do these kind of battles in future, or just skip them and focus on the ones that are nigh impossible. Let me know. Anyway, I'll see you next time, fuckers.